Welcome to Psychos and Sociopaths. If you're getting double vision and you think that this is going to be like an older of me, this is my father, Wesley Dickerman. He's stepping in for Johnny because Johnny, since this is going to be done on Saturday, is proposing to his girlfriend at Fenway Park this week. So he's in Boston. So today we're going over a kind of non-killer, but he ended up doing a lot of murder. What is it? Murder by proxy?
Yeah, causing a lot of murder by proxy.
Get closer. No. Just move it towards you. There we go.
Okay, how about that?
There we go.
Okay. Murder by proxy.
Yeah, that's basically all it was
Yeah.
murder by proxy. And it was basically, they call it the Manson family, but it was basically his, he had his whores do it. Because that's when I think he pimped out a couple of them.
Several of them.
Yeah, several of them. And you were around when that actually happened.
Yeah, it was my time period, yeah.
Was it 70? When was... I'm trying to figure out when the actual murders happened. About 72.
Let's see here.
73.
Not sure right offhand. Let's see here. Let me check something here.
Yeah, it was 69 to 71. So it was in the 69 time frame.
Yeah, she was August 1969 when she was killed.
Yeah. Sharon Tate was
Sharon Tate.
Yeah, and that was the only murder. But he was just known for his cult, the Manson family cult. And you have to say it's a cult because I watched Charlie and a bunch of other. Once upon a time in Hollywood, they did kind of a. What if this happened type deal? Because the Manson family found the wrong house, and they went in, and Brad Pitt's character and Leonardo DiCaprio's character just beat the shit out of these people. Even Leonardo DiCaprio's character inflamed a chick with a flamethrower. You can watch that on YouTube. You can watch the last part of it. Of the scene, it's like end scene of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Watch the whole movie. The whole movie was actually pretty good, but it was just that last scene that was just really, really. It brought up the whole movie. But the whole reason why he ended up killing Sharon Tate was basically because he was a musician and he wanted to be a musician. And what ended up happening is, I believe, the person that Sharon Tate was dating at the time ended up. Let me look at the murders real quick and get this. Doomsday Cult, blah blah blah, white supremacists. That was another reason why he said he did it, was because he wanted to. Get white supremacists. Okay, here we go. Manson told some of the Manson families that black people in America would rise up and kill all white people, except for the Manson and his family, but that they would not. They were not intelligent enough to survive on their own. That they would need a white man to lead them, which that was some racist shit. But that was another reason why he did it. But in all reality, the reason why is because he wanted to be a musician, and he ended up killing these people because he just wanted to be a freaking musician. He wanted to be famous. Of course, he's famous, but he's more infamous than famous.
Yeah.
So
he was a pretty bad guy. That he was able to control people
It was mostly women that. Well, he
Yeah.
did have a couple of men in the group, but he mostly. It was one of those regular cults that it was more or less a sex cult.
Yeah. That and a lot of drugs.
Yeah, a lot of drugs. I forget who it was, but someone met Charles Manson on accident. It was like a passerby type deal. He's like, I didn't know who he was until the photo came up. It's like, oh my God, we almost died. Type deal. It was really weird. But he also adapted the term helter skelter, took him from a song of the Beatles' recent release White Album to refer to the upcoming war. So this is the reason why I keep on thinking, it's like, man, having a sex cult would be awesome. And then I just go over all the stuff that they do and everything. I was like, man, I couldn't keep up with that. Because the cult mentality, what you have to do is you have to ostracize the people away from the individuality of them. And then after that, there was this one movie, I can't remember I think it was just called The Cult, and it was basically what they did is they mimic, if you're feeling sad and everything, a whole group of like the one scene that I did see was the female was feeling sad and she was throwing up and everything, and they had like 5 or 6 other females like mimic her, like screaming and everything like that. So it gets that mentality of they're a group now. They're in a hive mind type deal.
Yeah.
And it's scary that you have to do all that stuff. And I'm like, I don't have the patience for that.
Yeah. It takes time.
Yeah.
For people you work them slow.
Yeah.
If you work too fast, they catch on to it. But you work it nice and slow, and you get people to do almost anything you want to.
Yeah. And it was like the whole Waco thing, to where he was like, they eventually found out that he was having sex with the kids. He was having sex with the mothers. I mean, there was like Jerry Jones, because a lot of that stuff. How many cults were in your lifetime during that era? There's like 5 or 6 of them that I remember.
Yeah, there's the Jamestown Massacre.
Yeah, Jerry Jones.
Jerry Jones. Then the Waco.
Yeah, that was the 90s. That was when I was around. I remember that one.
And let's see.
Because the Oklahoma bombing was actually because of Waco.
Yeah. But, right offhand, I can't really remember.
Well, the ones that I've been reading up on, there's probably around about really bad cults that ended up having like a lot of there was that one, almost the end of the millennium, to where the guy said this comet was coming by and it was actually an alien spaceship behind it, and everybody killed themselves because of it.
They didn't want to be abducted.
Yeah. Now, their thing is as soon as they kill themselves, they're going to go to the spaceship.
Oh, okay.
Surprisingly, he literally didn't die because he didn't drink the Kool-Aid that everybody else was drinking.
Yeah.
Which is really funny with the Jerry Jones stuff. He couldn't even use actual Kool-Aid brand. He used the off-brand, like the Great Value Kool-Aid. I know. It was cheap. It's like, I'm going to kill these people with poison, but let's use the cheap stuff and save some money. Aren't you drinking the juice too? Maybe.
Well, I'll let y'all have the generic, and I'll take the Kool-Aid.
Yeah. He took the real Kool-Aid, but this guy was just offset from the begin with. His childhood. Charles Manson was born on November 12th, 1934, to 16-year-old Kathleen Manson Brewer Carver in the University of Cincinnati Academic Health Center in Cincinnati, Ohio. His full name is Charles Miles Maddox. Maddox?
Maddox.
Maddox. Manson's biological father appeared to have been a Colonel Walker Harrison Scott Sr. From Cattleburg, Kentucky, against whom Kathleen Maddox, what is his name? I'm
Maddox.
Maddox filed a petition. Paternity suit to that resulted in an agreed judgment in 1937. Scott worked intimately in local mills and had a local reputation as a con artist, which I guess that's where Manson got his stuff from. He allowed her to Kathleen to believe that he was an Army colonel, though colonel was merely his given name. God, I hate people like that. They use anything and everything they possibly can to get you to give the money up. But Charles retained his Williams last name, Manson. On August 1st, 1939, Luther and Catherine were arrested for assault and robbery. Kathleen and Luther were sentenced to 5 to 10 years of imprisonment. Manson was placed in a home of his aunt and uncle in McChatchy, West Virginia. I'll just say West Virginia. His mother was paroled in 1942. Manson later characterized the first weeks after his mother's return from prison as a happiest time in his life. Weeks after her release, the Manson family moved from Charleston, West Virginia, where Mason continued to play truant, and his mother spent her evenings drinking. She was arrested for grand larceny, but not convicted. The family later moved to Indianapolis, where she met an alcoholic named Lewis, no first name, through Alcoholic Anonymous meeting, and married him in August 1943. But he actually had like a lot of priors.
Yeah,
like most cultists actually do.
Yeah, I'm reading here that in 1967 he was released from prison, and he is so institutionalized that he asked the warden if he could stay.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem. When we both work as jailers, basically.
Yeah.
I worked a correctional officer. You're still with us.
Detention officer.
Yeah, detention officer, and you worked as a deputy sheriff. Now, how many of those people that actually? I mean, there's a lot of them that are repeats.
Yeah.
But most of them, I've noticed. There's a couple of them that they like being in prison.
Yeah. We had one guy. He got let out of jail, and when he walked across the street, they picked him up again.
For what?
Trespassing.
Oh.
He was banned from every restaurant in Wichita Falls except Red Lobster because
he liked Red Lobster.
He didn't like
you
Red
told
Lobster.
me about this stuff.
And he didn't like Red Lobster.
Oh, he didn't like Red Lobster.
He didn't like Red Lobster.
Oh, wow.
And then there's one guy. When he was getting out of jail, he said that he's never coming back, and you got these small packages of powdered donuts.
Yeah.
I said, I bet you a package of donuts that you'll be back. Well, we're up to 3 cases now.
Hey, but it's so funny that some people, they get to that point to where they feel comfortable in that environment. And it's chaotic.
Yeah.
And it's a stressful environment. I mean, there's a reason why I didn't like working there. It's because it was a stressful environment.
Yeah.
And I employ anybody that actually does it for long period of times because it weighs on you.
Yeah. Where you were at, you was in prison. Where I'm at, it's county jail.
Yeah.
The main difference there is in prison, what do you got to lose?
Yeah.
In the jail, they got to be good because whatever they do is reflects whenever they get sentenced of how badly they're going to get sentenced.
That is true.
And they don't want to do bad because they want to get a life sentence as they can.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. I never thought about it that way, honestly. But I had a lot of, like, there's this, I mean, he was a huge, huge man.
Yeah.
And he knew he was there for life and everything, but he was a model prisoner.
Mm-hmm.
And anytime I see him in, like, the really horrible section, segregation, I was like, what are you doing here? Oh, man. Female boss caught me masturbating again. That was the only reason why he was a bad prisoner.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I can understand that. But he did joke around with you, but he could have taken my head off any point in time.
I know. I got several of them like that. I was caught in between, well, it was taking two inmates from the yard in two separate tanks. Well, I didn't know the one guy in one tank was after the other guy in the other tank. And these guys, I'm 5'9", these guys are 6-something or other. And I weigh 160 pounds. These guys well over 200 pounds. And they got me on video where I'm standing between these two son of guns trying to push them apart. It was like a monkey trying to separate two daggone water buffaloes.
Yeah. Well, I had an officer. I was working with him. He decided he put me in a headlock and everything. He's like, you're never going to get out. I mean, he worked out. He was very, very strong. He's like, you're not going to get out of this. And I was like, the fuck that I am. Boom! Right to the freaking balls. I grabbed him, pulled, yanked, and he pushed me aside, and I still had him. He's like, ah! And he's like, why would you touch my junk? I was like, dude, we work in a freaking prison. I'm probably $160 at best. At the time, I was probably like 180 pounds. I've actually lost a lot of weight, but I don't fight fair. I've never had a fight fair because I have that. I don't do competitions for the martial arts or anything like that. I learned it, but I learned, hey, if you're going to be in a fight to end it as fast as possible, with as gruesome as possible, only because that person won't mess with you ever again.
You know, I learned if you're going to fight, cheat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And make sure the other guy does not get up.
Yeah.
And make sure he knows why he's getting his ass kicked.
Yeah. I mean, there is several times a couple of bar fights I was in. And afterwards, we had a beer and everything, and they became my best friends. Well, best friends to the point where if I call them and need them, they hands down, they're like, man, I'll do anything for you because you didn't kill me.
Yeah.
And then they knew. He's like, I had one guy who was pissed off. He's like, dude, I still have those freaking teeth marks. I was like, yeah, you had me in a bear hug. You had me in a bear hug and everything. And I couldn't get out and everything. He was crushing as hard as he could. And he's like, you going to try to get out? I was like, okay. I just chomped down on his chest. He's like, what the fuck? Most of the time, if you're surprised, but the funniest fights that I've seen was the ones they do, they have on YouTube to where they just get, they have this really weird G-string that's just a cup, and he's like, you ready to fight? You ready to fight? Yeah. He just pulls down his pants. He yanks off his pants. He pulls out his shirt. He's like, yeah, let's fight. And the guys just start running because it just baffles him. That is another thing, just baffling. But back to Charles Manson.
Yeah.
His first imprisonment was to a minimum security institution. His aunt visited him and told the administration she would let him stay with her house, and he would help him find work. Oh, okay. That might be a little bit. I'm sorry. I'm jumping ahead on this one. At school, other students allegedly raped Manson with the encouragement of staff members as he was repeatedly beaten. He ran away from school 18 times. That's the reason why he was, it's because truants. He was arrested for that because he wouldn't go to school. Of course, I understand that, but half the stuff you can't freaking believe coming from him because he was just freaking bonkers. I mean, we know somebody indefinitely for that does that, because if a person is actually mentally unstable, they're pretty much they'll lie about everything, and some people end up believing the lies, and they can actually hurt the people they're lying about. But his second imprisonment, he received 5-year parole in September 1959, same year in which Rosaline received a decree of divorce from, I guess it's, oh man, I am jumping way ahead. Okay, in January 1955, Manson married a hospital waitress named Rosaline Jean Willis. Around October, about 3 months after he and his pregnant wife arrived in Los Angeles in a car he stole in Ohio, Manson was again charged with a federal crime for taking a vehicle across state lines. After a psychiatric evaluation, he was given 5 years probation. Manson's failure to appear in a Los Angeles court hearing on a identical charge filed in Florida resulted in his March 1956 arrest in Indianapolis. His probation was revoked. He was sentenced to 3 years imprisonment at a terminal island in Los Angeles. While Manson was in prison, Rosalind gave birth to their son, Charles Manson Jr. Oh, God. God, that would be horrible. It's like having a kid named Adolf Hitler nowadays.
Yeah.
Like right after the fact.
Yeah.
Adolf Hitler Jr. That would be freaking horrible.
It'd be worse if we had 2 or 3. Charles Manson the fourth.
I know he had a couple of other kids. Hold on, let me.
No, I think he only had 1.
No, he had 2.
He had 2?
Yeah. He at least had 2 kids. One from his first wife and the one from his other wife, and they both divorced. Rosalind stuck around for 3 years, 2 years, no, 3 years. But Stevens, she stuck around for 4. So, but in his second imprisonment, Manson received after his second arrest, he ended up getting divorced from Rosaline. She did a decree of divorce. By November, he was pimping a 16-year-old girl and was receiving additional support from a girl with wealthy parents. And September 1950, that's one thing that just baffles me about rich kids. I don't know what it is, but the kids that are actually like rich, they have it's. I don't know if it's like multiple kids and everything like that, but it was that stigma for a while that if you're wealthy, you end up having like a shitstorm for a lifestyle.
Well, mostly you're real rich, you get everything handed to you, and you're looking for excitement.
Yeah, that could be the case. It was like I was like the only things that we really got like free from when I was a kid, it was Christmas time. We always had like a really great Christmas.
Yeah, that's one thing. We made sure you had a good Christmas.
Yeah, because y'all had, you and Mom had like horrible Christmases. So,
yeah.
But I didn't want for anything even when I was a kid. I mean, I kind of looked back and I was like, was I a horrible kid? And I thought about it and I was like, no, I wasn't a horrible kid. I was a kid.
Yeah.
You know, I
You
get a
weren't that
kid.
bad when you was a kid. Your sister's the one that scared the crap out of me, though.
Yeah, we won't talk about that. I try to keep that on the down low on this freaking podcast because I don't want her coming up and it's like, I can't believe you said these things. You know, they're not true because she's the one that she's not the black sheep of the family. She's the sheep that we try to keep in a distance.
Yeah, I keep her in a pen, but she kept jumping out.
Yeah. But we love her because she's family. We help her out whenever. And
we do the best we can with what we got.
Yeah, we definitely do. It's not like we ostracize her, sort of. But, unlike Charles Manson, apparently. But he pleaded guilty in a charge of attempt to cash a forged check, the U.S. Treasury check, which he claimed to have stolen from a mailbox. The letter, Charles, was dropped. Nowadays, you know what? I just realized something. Nowadays, if he was in California and he did all that stuff, he'd probably get away with it.
Yeah.
Depending on if he was in Los Angeles, he probably would get away with it. How much of a shitstorm that is there.
Yeah, they're very liberal there.
Well, it's that, but it's the homeless problems they're having. It's San Francisco too. They're having homeless problems, but I mean, you got the same thing in Washington, to where they pretty much if you have a vehicle and you park it in front of a person's, like if there was a vehicle parked in front of this house, the studio's house, you could basically say that's your home and that's your property. In Washington, D.C., they have that. And in San Francisco, they have that. Of course, San Francisco, you got to be careful where you step and where, like, if I ever have to go to, San Francisco for anything, I'm wearing a chem suit. And I'm, like, might be wearing chainmail because there's needles everywhere. That's another, I mean, it's getting a lot worse now, but.
Because they don't want you to stick yourself with a dirty needle, so if you trade in your old needle, you get a clean needle.
Yeah. Well, in retrospect, I think it's either Switzerland or no, it was Portugal. Portugal does that. What a lot of people don't understand is different countries do something like Portugal. They don't have a drug crime rate anymore. Only because if you want to do those drugs, you go to the hospital and you can do those drugs, and they take care of you. But they're a smaller country, so they can actually do a lot more with that. We're a bigger country, and if you're able to do that, and in hindsight, criminalizing a lot of the drugs that we have now. Some of the drugs shouldn't be criminalized, only to the point. And I know you can't say anything because you worked at the sheriff's department, but criminalizing some of the drugs and everything like that, that's some of your biggest problem. You get a lot of repeat offenders and everything, but it's more of most people that actually do those types of drugs on a heavier scale actually have mental problems. And they actually do, and that's the thing with Portugal is like they also give you high-end psychological help too.
Yeah. And also, when you make something illegal, people want to do it more. But when you legalize it,
nobody wants to do it.
Nobody wants to do it because where's the fun in that?
Yeah.
If I can just pick it up anywhere, why do it?
Well,
also,
Colombia, they have you can get cocoa leaves.
Yeah.
Cocaine leaves, and it's medicinal for them. I mean,
the one thing, if you decriminalize it, you lose the profit.
There is that.
Because everybody, that's why where your cartels and stuff come in, is they want to keep it illegal because they can control the market.
Yeah, there's this show on Netflix. It's a documentary show called Rotten. Mm-hmm. You know what the cartels are honing down on now?
What's that?
Avocados.
Huh. Oh, yeah, everybody likes avocados.
Yeah, well, it's that whole avocado craze we're having right now.
Yeah.
But you know who's the biggest supplier of avocados
What,
in the United States?
California?
No.
No?
Well, it is in California. But you know who owns all of them?
Uh-uh.
Magnum PI.
Really?
Yes.
Huh.
He owns all the avocado farms in California.
Daggone.
We have a lot of avocado farms in the United States. One, the reason why
That Tom Selleck's got a
yeah,
monopoly on the avocado
in the United States, yeah.
in the United States.
But over like in Mexico and everything, I think it's like over by Guatemala. Guatemala. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right or not, but
Yeah, Guatemala.
yeah, a lot of the farmers that actually have land, they're doing avocados and everything. They're getting kidnapped, and they're getting ransomed off and everything. It's like I know we're totally getting off subject, but it's good conversation. But I was like, someone asked me, it's like, Mexico, they have a really bad gun problem and everything like that. I was like, I hate to do this right now. You know how many gun stores they have in Mexico? Off the top of your head, just guess.
In Mexico?
Yeah.
That big Mexico City or Mexico itself?
Mexico itself, the whole country.
Whole country? I wouldn't even, probably I don't have very many.
Just guess.
Maybe 100 or so. One gun shop?
One gun shop in Mexico City, and you have to go down there, and it's heavily regulated. I was like, someone told me that. I was like, bullshit. And I looked it up. They have one gun store. That's it. Because they're trying to get guns away from the cartel.
Yeah.
But you can thank Obama for messing that one up.
Yeah.
Did you hear about the whole Operation Fast and Furious?
Yeah.
That was fucking ridiculous. And so many and they try to prosecute those gun sellers, United States gun sellers.
Yeah.
I was like, you told us to do this. You told us to sell these cartels, and you were able to track them down, and you weren't. Because Bush had the original idea, but they angst it because they couldn't track them.
Yeah.
But let's get back to this shit pump. That's a new phrase I made up. Well, I didn't make up. Someone else made it up, but I'm going to use it a lot. It's shit pump. It just sounds so fluid. But Manson took. Let's go here. Get back on track on this one.
He took Leona and another woman to New Mexico for purposes of prostitution.
Yeah, resulted in him being held in question for violating the Mann Act. I want to know what this act is. The Mann Act.
White Slave Trafficking Act, also called the Mann Act, is the United States federal law passed June 25th, 1910, and it is named after Congressman James Robert Mann of Illinois.
Why don't they have some? This is the first time I'm actually hearing about this act, and we're having that's our biggest problem now is sex trade.
Yeah, sex trafficking
or human trafficking.
Yeah.
I wonder how many of those actually go through with that act. I mean, it's obvious still up.
Usually, if somebody's been doing it a while, it's something they can use to catch them or prosecute them.
Okay, like using a game warden for
yeah,
the Unabomber.
Yeah, or like using Al Capone.
Taxes.
He didn't get it for racketeering. He didn't get it for killing anybody. Nothing for prostitution, selling drugs, selling whiskey, nothing. He got it for income tax evasion.
Yeah.
It's something they can use to catch them.
Yeah. But Manson spent a year trying to unsuccessfully to appeal the revocation of his probation. In July 1961, he was transferred from Los Angeles County Jail to the United States Penitentiary at McNeil Island, Washington. There he took guitar lessons from the Barker Carpsey gang, leader Alvin Creepy Carpist, and obtained from another inmate a contact name from someone at Universal Studios in Hollywood, Phil Kaufman. Along his fellow prisoners during this time was Danny Trejo, who participated in several
hypnosis
sessions. I'm horrible.
You know who Danny Trejo is, don't you?
Yeah. You know he misses leg day too. He has skinny legs.
Yeah.
But no, he's a great guy, wonderful guy.
Yeah, I like him. He went with Machete.
Yeah.
Movies and such.
Now you should really check out a movie called Pool Guy. What had happened? He was literally staying in a hotel. He had like $45 to his name because it's another ex-wife. And Ross Patterson, the guy that I talked to at Drinking Bros, he was talking about it. He's like, because he did Ross Patterson's movie Pool Boy, because he was also in Range 15.
Yeah.
But because he did that movie, he started getting offers again.
Yeah.
And he got after that he got Machete.
Yeah.
And he really is just meeting the guy.
Yeah.
He's a saint.
Yeah.
I mean, he's done some horrible things in his life, but
he's paid his debt to society and he's doing good.
Yeah. He's doing a lot better. And he is a really great guy. But he misses leg day. He has skinny legs.
Yeah. Like a potato on toothpicks.
Dude, we have more meat on our bones than him on his legs. And he was an ex-boxer.
Yeah.
That's how you got, like, I think it was Bull Durham. No, Bull Durham wasn't that. It was a Robert De Niro movie, but about boxers.
Oh, Raging Bull.
Raging Bull. That's how he was because he was like the Golden Gloves for prisoners in California, and what else? He what was it called? Dang it, correspondent for teaching them how to box and what to do and everything like that. Coach. God. But but Danny Trejo actually talks about it. He's like, man, he was fucking nuts. He was fucking crazy. According to Jeff Ginning in 2013 biography of Manson, his mother moved to Washington State to be closer to him during his McNeil Island incarceration, working nearby as a waitress, probably a prostitute. Although the Manax charged have been dropped, the attempt to cash the Treasury check was still a federal offense, and Manson, in September 1961 annual review, noted that he had a tremendous drive to call attention to himself. Not at all. Have you seen the interviews that he's done?
I've seen a few of them.
Every time it's like basically putting cats in a bag and seeing if you can understand what they're saying while they're screaming in that bag when you shake it up.
Yeah, I've run across that quite a few times at work.
Oh, yeah. Dude, it was like that one, the day we went to, I was talking to Price, is it Prince or Price?
Prince.
I was talking to Prince about that crazy guy over by the Lutheran church. Because him and Kenny goes to the Lutheran church. Yeah. And I was like, man, it's bad downtown. And there was a guy that just literally stopped me in the middle. He walked in the middle of the road just after change for something to eat. And I was like, fuck this. So I had my weapon in my lap and grabbed the change and everything. I was like, here, take this and just go away. Oh, thank you, but God bless, blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay. And I drove off, but it's happening a lot downtown.
Yeah, and a whole lot. A lot of that stuff is kind of like I wouldn't say contract, but coordinated. There's a guy that will pick these guys up and drop them off on corners.
Really?
Yeah, and
They can't prosecute them for that?
Not really. The only thing they can get the guys doing is for trespassing or something like that, or panhandling.
Well, he's not panhandling, though.
He was walking around asking for money.
I'm talking about the guy that drops him down there.
Oh, no, he's just collects his profit off of it.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of is organized crime, though.
Kind of, yeah.
If you think about it in a roundabout way, it is organized crime. Because you got the head leader. It's like that Rat King from John Wick movie.
Yeah.
John Wick 2.
Yeah.
So it's something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's more or less panhandling.
Yeah,
It's
panhandling.
organized. Panhandling is illegal, so it's organized crime if you
Yes.
think about it. I mean,
Yeah.
even though
It's a
they're-
business.
Yeah. Well, I know lots of people that there's stories of homeless people. They getting like their yearly salary because they actually pay the taxes on it. It's like
Yeah.
$100,000
Yeah.
a year.
There's one guy that I was talking to this one old boy that is his livelihood. He walk into the area in a business suit, go into a building, change clothes, come out, and sits on the daggum sidewalk playing a guitar or something and make a couple of $100 a day.
Yeah. Well, I remember my chief master sergeant of the base that was at in Bahrain. Mm-hmm. His brother's homeless, so he took like 2 weeks. And I literally told him this. It's like, so you took 2 weeks to bum around? He's like, yeah, if you think about it that way, yeah, that's what I did. I spent time with his brother and everything. He's like, and he told the story. And he did what his brother did. I mean, they went into a building and they shit in the freaking stairway and then ran off. I was like, sir, could you? I don't think I should be hearing this, but I mean, technically we do that too. If we're out in the field, we have to take a dump. We dig a hole and take a shit and.
Well, listen, you're in civil engineering. We dig the holes you dump in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Building latrines.
Yeah. Well, I was like, now the United States is getting sued because of the burn pits.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are getting like respiratory problems and everything. Now back to Manson.
Yeah.
Although the Mann Act, we already got that.
Yeah, we got
that. Let's just jump into the murders. The Manson family developed a doomsday cult, which we were talking about. Manson was a white supremacist, and he believed that doing this act would get the black people to start an uprising and start killing all the white people.
Well, didn't Charles Manson realize that getting all the black people up to kill all the white people, he was a white person too?
No, okay, that's like what I said beforehand. The black people will rise up and kill all the white people, except for the Manson and his family, but that they would not, but they weren't intelligent enough to survive on their own. That they would need a white man to lead them.
Just kill all the white people so each one can boss us
Well,
around.
well, okay. What gets me about this whole thing, and I've said this before, and I had to reiterate to a person that believes this. He believes that the Voter Restriction Act are basically the Jim Crow laws back in the day. Mm-hmm. And I read verbatim what those laws are. And they're just basically you have to have an ID. It's like, this is verbatim what he said to me. It's like, well, they can't get IDs. I'm like, are you a racist? Are you hidden racist? I was like, no, that they can't get IDs. It's like, dude, every welfare program that you have to get, guess what you have to get?
You have to get an ID.
You have to get ID. And I'm not saying that a lot of black people are on welfare, and it's wrong. I'm saying that to do anything that he perceives, and he was telling me this. He was like, oh, they're on this. I was like, listen, everybody has to have IDs nowadays. Yeah. Everybody has to have, like, Social Security card, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, it's like right now, you can't walk down. Legally, you're not supposed to walk down the street without an ID.
Yeah. Or nowadays, in certain states and everything like that, you have to have, like, a vaccination card.
Yeah.
And we're going to cut for a break. We'll be right back. Yeah. But in early August 1969, some of the Manson family members committed murders in Los Angeles. The Manson family gained notoriety after the murder of actress Sharon Tate and 4 others. It says 4 others, so it's 5.
In her home.
But it was technically 6 from what you said.
If you count the baby.
Yeah, if you count the baby.
Baby died later on of they died of asphyxiation in his mother's womb.
Yeah. Tex Watson and 3 other members of the family committed the Tate
LaBianca
murders, allegedly under Manson's instructions. While it was later accepted at the trial that Manson never expressly ordered the murders, his behavior was deemed to warrant a conviction for first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit murder. Evidence pointed to Manson's obsession to initiate a race war by killing those he thought were pigs, and cops too, because he wrote in like cops were pigs and everything. Yeah. His brief that this would show that the black community, I'm saying black community, what he actually said was the horrible word that we can't say on YouTube or any other affiliations, and I won't say that word, how to do the same. Family members were also responsible for other assault, thefts, crimes, and attempted assassination of President Gerald Ford in Sacramento by Lily Squeaky Formie. Is that Formie? From me.
See, Lynette Squeaky from me. F-R-O-M-M-E. From me.
Man, that's a good assassin last name.
Yeah.
If you actually think about it, that's actually a pretty good assassination name. It's like, who killed you? From me. Yeah. But during the trial for Tate and the LaBianca murders with co-defenders Leslie Van Houten, Susan Atkins, Patricia Crinkwell, co-defendant Ted Watson.
Just Crinkwilly.
Crinkwilly?
No. Crinwinkle. Yeah.
Yeah, that is. Crinwinkle.
Yeah, Crinwinkle.
Was tried at a later date after being extradited from Texas. The trial began in 1960.
The co-defendant Tex Watson was tried at a later date after being extradited from Texas.
Why was he extradited from Texas from? It doesn't say.
Because he was probably, after the murders, ran back home to Texas.
Okay, yeah.
And then they caught him in Texas and extradited him back from Texas for the murders.
The first day of testimony, Manson appeared in court with a X carved in his forehead. His followers issued a statement from Manson saying, "I have X'd myself from your world." Nah, he wasn't crazy.
No, that X would have been a good target, though.
Actually, it would have been a good target, but any actual sniper or professional military personnel that was in like tier 1, you know where the actual kill shot actually should be?
In the heart?
No.
In the nose?
Yeah. When you're doing hostage situations and everything like that, it's another reason why you should never shoot at a person that's in a vehicle because of the glass, the bullet ricochets. There's actually a sniper that did that, and he accidentally killed the hostage.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because it ricocheted. He had a perfect. From what he said, he's like he had perfect shot. He shot the bullet.
It deflects the bullet to a different direction.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the reason why most snipers are told never to shoot at shoot the hostage in glass. They wait until they get out of the vehicle.
Yeah.
Or they try to get them, coax them out of the vehicle. But other than that, there's been several documentations of Charles Manson. There is a movie called Charlie. Biopic of it was the way he tried to get the females to join his group and everything. He would sing them a little song. He would like make a little melody for them and everything like that right then and there. And but this guy, I still can't believe. We went out on to a bar one New Year's Eve, and this chick was like just praising Charles Manson. That I was like, oh. And that's one thing you can possibly do because she was a pen pal with him. She loved him. She wrote him letters all the time. He's like, he's just a wonderful person. It's like, okay, that's a good red flag. She's like, no, you don't understand. It's like, no, that's definitely a good red flag.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that you just can't. I can understand liking a person like this because there's a lot of women, I don't know why, but they like the serial killers, and they listen to most of my audience for this show is women, and most of the comments and everything are from women. They say this, that,
and I think they can reform the bad guy.
There's a lot of men that think you do that too.
Yeah, but what they do, mostly what you're doing there with the guys like Manson and such, they're getting these people on the outside, getting them enthralled, shall we say, so they can ride it back and forth, and also send him money so he can get stuff off the prison commissary and stuff like that.
Yeah, but she was like praising him as like a new messiah. I was like, are you kidding me? It's just ridiculous. But he actually, I think he had like a little small album. The Beach Boys did a cover song, one of their songs over him. But there's like he got infamy, and there's like, let me count this out. For the documentaries, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 documentaries made about him. And as film inspired, we have 23 movies inspired by the Manson family. Of course, I think one of them, because there's 2 Helter Skelters. I think that was the same one, but yeah, one of them was a director's cut from the first one. So I guess one less than that, but he was so charismatic that people end up. I mean, Marilyn Manson used his last name because of Charles Manson.
Yeah.
But guy was just a shit pump. I kind of wish I had that kind of charisma, but in a sense, I don't want that kind of charisma.
It can be dangerous.
Yeah, it's really just sad. The people that like are friends with me and everything like that, or listen to the show, or talk with me and everything like that, they're like, oh man, I would you're such a great, wonderful person. I was like, I'll let them know right off the bat. I'm humble to the point to where I was like, no, I'm really not. I'll help people out and everything like that when I get a chance to, but in all reality, I just want to be left alone. I don't want to have that kind of big cult and everything like that, because it's taxing.
Yeah.
Having to keep up with. I mean, even keeping with the friends that I have right now, to go out and schedule a big event to where we're all hanging out and everything, it's exhausting, because some people don't want to go. They tell you they want to go, and it is stressful.
Or they tell you they'd like to go, but they can't, and then they do show up. And another thing, like quite a few times where Kenny has cooked a lot of food for a lot of people, and just family show up.
Yeah.
But I don't mind, because it gives me take home, and he's got some damn good food.
Oh, yeah. My brother-in-law has some really good food. But that's the end of this episode of Psychos and Sociopaths, the Manson family. Well, I can probably just do Manson family, but I'll just do Charles Manson. Just a reminder, by the time you listen to this, I will be in Fort Worth doing a charity event called Vet Fest. I'm posting it as much as I can. But if I see you out there, I'll see you out there. We're doing it's a kind of a 2-day event.
Yeah, it's the Saturday and Sunday thing.
So if you listen to this on Saturday and you want to visit it on Sunday or purchase a ticket, which we already put out the video for that to find out what the event is. If you miss it on Saturday, sorry. But if you listen to this on Sunday and you can make it out, the tickets for that event is $40. The person that is going to MC it is none other than Texas own, well, not Texas own because he's from Georgia, but Chad Prather, who's trying to be governor of Texas. So, I'm David Dickerman.
I'm Wesley Dickerman.
And this is Psychos and Sociopaths. Thanks for doing this again, Dad.
You're very welcome, sir.
And